Hey, I hope you're doing well today. And today I want to show you how you at home can get your own AI voice agent, call it on your phone, really cheap, cheaper than all the competitors in the world, no code, no live servers, and you can do it all just through n8n. Hey Siri, call agent.
At your service, Kit, how may I assist you today?
Yeah, how are you?
Doing well, thanks for asking. Is there something I can help you with, or would you like to chat for a bit?
Could you grab my emails for me, please?
I'll go ahead and retrieve your emails. You have a new email from Gav Michael via school with the subject, Gav Michael sent you a message. Would you like me to read it out to you or reply to it?
No, that's all right. Thanks for that. That's enough. Thank you.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure chatting with you. If you need it.
So I hope the sound quality wasn't too bad there, but it's very interesting because we can start creating all this all within n8n, no coding, no servers, no confusion, and it's going to take you about 5 minutes. So let's get into it, eh? All right, first things first. So we're in n8n right here. Okay, we have a new workflow. Now we're starting off with just a simple webhook. Okay, so we're just clicking this button up here, typing in webhook, and we see the webhook trigger right here. So you would click that and you'd be left with this right here. So looking into this now, and I'm using the production URL here as well, and that just allows us to also activate this workflow, and then it's consistently and constantly listening for events and triggers, right? So we can call this anytime we want. Now, for the HTTP method here, we're using post. The path, it doesn't matter, but do have it set for something that you're familiar with as well, because probably when you first open this, it'll be like a series of numbers and letters or something. I would suggest setting it to something like, incoming call, something like that, which is very easy. And then we have the respond. So respond using respond to webhook node. Okay, so that's very important. So that's like generally how it would reply to us as well. Okay, so if we look here, all we need to do is just set a path, something familiar with us as well, and we would just click the production URL, and you can just pretty much click that as is. When you change incoming call, the actual URL webhook here will actually change with it, so you don't have to manually go in there and change anything yourself. All right, so next up is the HTTP request here. So you can see it's connect to Ultravox, because that's what we're using today. We're actually using Ultravox. Now, why am I using Ultravox here? Well, you do have things like ElevenLabs, you do have vapi or or whatever you call it, right? There are a few other alternatives, but this here, if you look at the price, is only 5 cents per minute, which is insanely cheap. Okay, it's very cheap. Now, if you compare that to say ElevenLabs is very expensive. So it's not really going to be that viable if you want to use this on a daily basis like I am currently. I'm calling this thing all the time, right? So we can see right here, it's only 5 cents a minute. And this is actually an AI agent. Don't forget that as well. I know in n8n we do have our own agents that we make and everything like that, but this is an actual agent as well, meaning that it can do function calling and call the tools and all the little things it has access to. It can do all that as well. But one of the big reasons why I like this as well is because you're going to get very low latency. And a big reason for that as well is because it's not actually transcribing your text beforehand. So it's not listening to you and then transcribing and then understanding. It's actually actively listening to you, your actual voice at the time. So this is making it very fast. So we can see here as well, the benchmarks are very good in comparison to, let's say, GPT-4 real time and Gemini 1.5 Flash. And these are already very fast models as well. And this is not a sponsored post or anything. I think this is just really fun and something interesting that you could have a lot of fun with. So if we actually get logged in, so I'll just sign in here. So we can see over here, once you get all signed in and everything like that, we can actually also create an API key. So we just head over to settings and we'll see generate new key. So we can just click that, make the name, hello, and then we create that, and then there you go. Okay, so I'm probably going to delete that now. And then we have a series of voices as well. So if we go over here, we do have a few voices that we can use, several different languages as well. Mark is very good, but I actually really like, if we go down, I know I'm from Australia, but I think the voice is actually really good, and that's Steve English Australian. I think that's a nice, very casual, but very realistic voice, which is really impressive, to be honest. If we want to clone a voice and make a voice as well, we can do that here. I actually use Iron Man's Jarvis, and I uploaded that. It took like 20 seconds to do, but I was actually really impressed with the actual quality and how it sounded. It actually sounded just like Jarvis. So coming back to n8n now, if I open up this HTTP request here, we can see the method is set to post. The URL is api.ultravox.ai/api/call. Now I'm just using generic credential type here with a header authentication, and that's just with Ultravox, okay? Well, that's the name that I've set for it. But if we jump in here, it's just going to be set as x-api-key, and then you're just going to place your API key right in there that you got from Ultravox before. Now, don't forget this as well. We're going to get the content type and set it as application JSON, okay? Now, don't be too scared of this section here, but this is the JSON body. Now, you will see a lot of nonsense in here currently, but that's because I'm setting a lot of things up and playing with a lot of things as well. Just to get yourself up and running, like literally right now, okay, you wouldn't need all of this, okay? You wouldn't need all of this. You would just need pretty much a system prompt, and then you would have to have the model, and you would have to use Fixie AI Ultravox 70B because the function calling capabilities of this actual model is a lot better. In the voice here, all you're doing here is literally just putting in the voice name, right? So if we come back over here, and if I come back, see these names here, okay? All we're doing is just literally just going copy paste, okay? And well, what is that? Nigerian accent? Well, probably not what I'm after. And all we have to do is just go like that. And that's the voice model actually set as well. Now, for the first speaker agent just means that they are the one that's going to be speaking first before us, okay? In this case, I'm using the medium as Twilio as well. And then you see these selected tools, temporary tools, and everything like that. So these are actual custom tools that I've made within Ultravox so that anytime that I'm speaking to the AI agent, it knows and how to access it and what parameters there are for each and every tool as well. So I know it looks a little bit crazy at the moment, but don't worry, it's very, very simple. So at the end here as well, we can just see our base URL pattern, and this is just a webhook URL, which is going to that specific tool that I've made within Ultravox. So just showing you really, really quickly as well, if I come over to tools, okay, and I click on my tools, now we can make a new tool up here. But if we actually look through here, these are some of the custom tools that I've made. So like queries for emails, I'm doing like subscriptions, getting information from my vector store, getting news, creating events or getting events, things like that as well. And I'll just show you really quickly in here. So we can see here that the webhook URL is set here. The type is post. I have content type application JSON, and then we just have all the parameters like, and these are very, very simple, okay? It's the way you have to think about it is just, I'll show you one example right here. So number one, get emails, just like I retrieved an email before on the phone, right? And the description is use this to get the latest emails. So think about it in like n8n, when you have a node and you're giving instructions within the description of that node, it's exactly the same thing here. Now, this is required and it's a string, so it's just letters, okay? That's all that it's requesting from us to perform this action, okay? So jumping back over to n8n now. So when we actually run this here, so if I'll just test this step and it'll output some information. Actually, that won't work. Actually, one second, because that's connected to that trigger, which will then be listening. So we'll do this. Now, if I actually stop that first, now, if I test this step here, you'll see the output here, all right? So I'll just jump over here. At the bottom, right here, well, in the middle rather, we have the join URL. So after your HTTP request, you want to add a set node, okay? And then within the set node, all you're going to do in this drag input fields here thing, you're just going to grab the join URL and just place it right in there, okay? And what that's going to do is just show you the join URL, and that's going to be important because we're actually going to keep this call alive, right? So we can consistently talk to it, okay? So if we move over to the respond to webhook, now we can see right here that I just have it set as respond with text, okay? So out of all these options, I clicked on text. Now if I open this up, this is all it is, okay? It's a very simple little bit of code in here, And the join URL from the set node previously, that's it right there. Okay, so if I actually just test this step and I come back over to the respond to webhook, you'll see the join URL right here, and that's it right there. Okay, and this just allows the call to be live and actually stream via Twilio. And just with a simple setup like that, you're already calling your AI agent. You can have full-blown conversations with them literally right now. Okay, so don't forget as well, you have response headers, and all you're going to click here is all you're going to type rather is content type, and then text-XML. Okay, now what are you going to need exactly? Okay, so let's talk about that. Number one, you're going to make a Twilio account. Okay, so go to twilio.com, get registered. You already might have an account on there, who knows? Okay, because it's very, very popular, I know. But you're going to come on here, you're going to make your account, get logged in, everything like that. And what you want to do is buy a number. Okay, now don't get scared yet, because numbers don't cost much at all. Okay, like I'm talking like look at the price. All right, if you're in America, the number's like $1.15 per month. Really though, you don't want to, like, if you're not in America, you ideally want to be getting a number close to where you are located. So for me personally, I'm in Australia, so I'm going to use an Australian number. And the Australian number is a little bit more expensive, so it's $3. Okay, and what you also want is a local number. So you're not getting a mobile number, you're not sending SMS messages and whatever else. Okay, you just want a local number, and that's also because it's very, very cheap. Okay, this is very, very cheap. Now, once you get your local number, all right, and if we actually go over to active numbers right here, and we click on our number after we bought it, we'll have it right here, and it'll just be in the configure. Okay, so we come back to n8n, and we open this up right here, and you remember that production URL, the webhook URL that we set previously. We're just going to click on it, and ensuring that we click on the production URL, come back over to Twilio, and all we're going to do is just paste it right in here and ensure we're set to HTTP host. Okay, now once you have that, obviously you save your configurations and you're good to go. One other thing though is that you'll see the routing up here. So I believe it's by default routing to the US. And obviously if you're in Australia or if you're in Europe, okay, change it to where it's most close to you. Okay, so for me, of course, it's going to be Australia. For you, it might be Ireland. You might be living in even the UK or in Europe, so you would use Ireland. Okay, so don't forget that as well. Once you click it, all you have to do is just click reroute. There'll be a button here, just click that, takes like 2 seconds, and you're good to go. So after that, you come back over here, ensuring that you already have your credentials set up with Ultravox as well. You put all of that in here, and then all you're doing is all you really need is just this right here. And then when you just want to play around with some voices and try out different prompts and everything as well, you can just jump over to their playground right here. From here, you can choose like which kind of voice do you want to try and test, and maybe go through a few as well. That's that Jarvis one for Iron Man that I made earlier. And just play around with the prompts as well, because as you know, prompts are very, very important. Do you have to have 1,000-word prompts? Not necessarily, but do make them short, concise, and very specific, and try to be really, really clear and direct with your prompts as well, just to make sure that the AI and the LLM actually completely understands what its task and role is. Okay. Now, if we actually jump over here to the tools, I'll just show you how to make a tool as well. So you just click New Tool, okay, and you put in the name here. So let's just say we wanted to do like a task agent that manages tasks and everything like that for us. So we could do something like query tasks, and then we can say this tool should be called for task-related queries. Now, for the custom endpoint URL here, if I actually jump over to my other workflow here in n8n, okay, and now you see some of the webhooks that I've been messing around with and just testing out, having some fun with. This is really, really fun. So first things first, we want to create a webhook. So we go here, type in webhook, we click OK, okay? Now you see the path here. Let's just delete this. And what was this for? Oh, for tasks. So I might just name it tasks, just to be simple. Respond using respond to webhook node. So we click on that. Then ensuring that I'm on production URL, I'm going to click that to copy, come back over here. I'm going to paste that in. The type I'm going to set as post. Okay, the timeout you can leave as is. We can add content type and application JSON in here as well. Okay, and then parameters. So think of parameters like the input fields on, let's say you're using Airtable. Okay, so if we actually come back over here first, because this will be important to understand what ones you have to actually set in the first place. So coming over here, let's take our webhook, and I'll just get this all out of the way. Now let's just say I wanted to just create something on like Airtable, okay, or Notion, or it could be Sheets, it could be anything. But let's just say in this case we wanted to use Airtable, so we wanted to create a record for a task. Okay, so let's use, I'm not even sure to be honest. Let's see what's in here. All right, let's just use contacts. So you see these fields here, the name and the email address. Okay, so this is what you want the AI agent by Ultravox to input within here. Okay, so if I have name and email address, that means here I should also have name, tasks. Okay, the name of the task, just for example, right? Type, it's a string because it would be letters, it wouldn't be prices or email addresses or numbers, it would just be letters. Okay, location, body, that's absolutely fine. Required, yes, absolutely it's required, because as we can see in our Airtable here, these two columns here, these two fields here are, well, they need to be filled. No one's going to fill them on their own. So using this now, we have name, tasks, and the name of the tasks. And then we add another parameter. And what was the other one? Email address. Okay, so we can just say email task. I know this is not correct because it's a different table, but just as an example, the email of the task. Let's just say that, for instance, right? So it would be a string. Body, location would be the body. Required, yes please. And then there we go. We've set that up. Now we can save that, but we do have to take note of all of these names and everything as well. So these aren't just like random little things just to be named on here only. No, we actually need to remember these names as well, and the dynamic parameters here. Okay, so just looking at this, the query tasks, I can't even talk. I can't even say tasks. Jesus. All right, now we come back over here. Let's open up the HTTP request again. Open this up. Okay, so you'll see all of these parameters and everything that I have for the tools. Okay, so I'll just take one probably at the bottom here. That's kind of easy. Let's see. There we go. We can take this one here. So I'm just going to copy that, move it down here. Okay, and you just have to ensure as well that there's no errors in the JSON, otherwise it actually won't run as well. So that's pretty important. Now we can see here the temporary tool. Okay, so the model tool name we can see here is get news. Okay, so in my case, what was it called before? It was called query tasks. So we come back over here, and right here I would input that name, query tasks. Now coming back over here again, the description of it was this tool should be called for task related queries. I'm going to copy that as well. Come back over here and I'll paste that in right there. Okay, now the base URL pattern. Okay, so this is going to be the webhook that we created in the other n8n workflow. Okay, with all our other webhooks. And then we're going to open this one. We're going to go to the production URL. We're going to click on that, pop on over back, not here, but right here, and we're going to change this URL. Well, you probably wouldn't change, you'd probably be making it. And we're going to paste it right there. So we can see the HTTP method is also post. We can see the base URL pattern is our webhook URL. But there's one more thing missing here, and that is this right here. Okay, so this is actually missing because this is the dynamic parameters for that specific tool. Okay, so we would actually need this as well. And I would jump in back over here, paste that in, just clean it up a bit, make it look a bit prettier. Now, these are going to be those other parameters that I've set. So the one here for name of tasks and the one here for email tasks. Okay, so I would take this, copy that, come back over here. So I'm in query tasks and it would be right here and name tasks. And then description, same thing. Description right here, boom, add it right in there. Is it required? Required, true, correct. And then we have the email. We take the email. Oh yeah, and sorry, the string, as you can see right here, the type string is also correct. So then we come back over here and I would actually have to create another one because we have two. Actually, it wouldn't be there. It would be right here. Okay, paste that in there. Now this one here is email tasks and we paste it right in there. Then we have the email of the task as a description and we place that right in there. Okay, string required, true, absolutely 100% correct. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me. So required, true, and then we just want to add, what are we missing here? Oh yeah. Okay, and that looks pretty good to go. So from that point, once we have that information in there, we do want to test it as well. And the reason why we want to test it is because if there is an error in that JSON before, like sometimes, you know, you're doing this for 10 hours a day and you miss one comma and everything breaks. So I'm just gonna get my trigger again. There it is. Connect it to this, and I just want to test it. Test the step. So I don't have to call or anything. As we can see, the JSON parameter needs to be a valid JSON. So we are missing something here. So I'm jumping back down here again. And anytime this happens, all I want you to do, okay, because like even I'm looking at this now, it's 1:53 a.m. I can't even be bothered looking at it, okay? So a thing you can do is just copy all that, come into your LLM chat thing of your choice, okay? And just say, this JSON body is giving errors. Please fix it, and just paste it in there, all right? So I'm using Claude 3.7 here at the moment. Love it. I think it's terrific. And all it's going to do is have a look at it and think, oh yeah, there it is. There's the problem. Okay. Make everything for me. Let me just copy paste it so I don't have to think too much. All right. So we can see now, apparently it's done. So we're going to copy that code. We're going to jump back over here and just paste it back in. Boom. Paste it in. Give it another test. Okay. Let's see how it goes now. There it is. Running absolutely fine. Okay, so we can actually call that agent now. Oh, well, look at that. Cosmin C has just joined the school community. Look at that. Now that we're already set and ready to go, we can actually call this agent now. And now we want to configure everything as well. And now we're just going to call this agent, and this actually won't work yet, okay? Because we have nothing back over here for the actual fields, you see? So these are still empty. It's not going to know at all what to do. We're going to call this agent.
At your service, Ken. How may I assist you today?
Hey, can you make me a new task, please?
To create a new task, I'll need some more information. Can you please tell me the name of the task and the email associated with it?
Yeah, it's the task's name is I want to go out, and the email address is ken@gmail.com.
I've got that. The task name is I want to go out, and the email is ken@gmail.com. I'm having a bit of trouble creating the task. Let me try again.
Okay, but as you saw, the agent's already recognizing that, oh, I have to get the name of the task and also the email address of the task, which doesn't make sense at all. It's just a weird setup that I'm doing. But just for this case, we can understand that, right? So if I actually go into executions, okay, and we're going to see the executions over here as well, okay, and this is red currently. So we want to debug an editor. Click on that. Now, when we open this up, oh yeah, and I haven't added a respond to webhook node. So we want to add that in there as well. So webhook and then respond to webhook, okay? And let's just add this in here. Get out of there. So you made the respond to webhook. You just want to click it, press on response code, and that'll put as 200. And then add option, response headers, and then we want to add response header. And then we want to just type in content type, and then application/JSON, okay? Now connect that up, and that's very important as well, so we can actually see and receive replies back and actually insert information into our tables. So let's give this another call to make sure we actually are getting in the data here, because that previous one didn't give us any data at all.
At your service, Ken, how may I assist you today?
Hey, can you make a new task for me, please?
To create a new task, I'll need some more information. Can you please tell me the name of the task and the email associated with it?
Yep, the name of the task is I want to go out, and the email address is ken@gmail.com.
I'll go ahead and create that task for you. Your task, I want to go out, has been created for ken@gmail.com. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, that's all. So it actually thinks it created because it's actually just responding back to the webhook, okay? But if we go back here, it does show that there's no problems, but there is, because nothing is getting updated in our actual table. But if we copy and debug, now we can actually see the fields. So you see the parameters that we made in our tools before? Well, now they're right here in n8n as well. So we can see email tasks and name tasks as well. So the name you'd be chucking up over here, okay? I want to go out. And then email, obviously you put an email, okay? Don't chuck it anywhere else in some random place. Now, if I was to test that step, that would actually get inserted straight to our Airtable, and that information would go straight through. And obviously we wouldn't do that manually, but the agent would actually be doing that. And then it would respond that everything's done and everything is added to our table. I'm going to be working on this and improving and creating really crazy automations with these AI agents as well. And I think this is going to be really fun, because I want to be talking to agents and just calling them whenever I need them, not having to text them or chat with them or even pay a fortune using these other services, because this is really, really cheap. It's powerful. It is very, very fast, and the quality is phenomenal. So I really, really recommend it. And just to let you know as well, I'm doing a lot of beginner courses this week on my school community. So all types of courses in regards to creating your agents, automations, improving them. I'm going to be sharing a lot on how I'm getting clients as well this week. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope to see you there. But if not, I'll see you again next time.